Hey, I have got a bunch of yarn that I need to wind, and I recently got a couple of new gadgets to help make my life a little bit easier. The first thing I got is a yarn swift. Yay! I have been wanting one of these for a long time and I finally have one. Amazing. And then the second thing I got is an electric yarn winder. I've never tried this, so we're gonna see if it's any good. To make this a little bit more interesting, instead of you just watching me wind yarn, I'm gonna be doing a little Q&A, and I'm gonna be answering some crafty questions for you guys so you can get to know a little bit more about me and my crafty journey slash preferences. I'm really excited about this electric yarn winder. And for a couple of reasons. One, I've seen these before and I've always been curious, are they better? Do they work? Will I like it? All that great stuff. But I have a normal yarn winder, like a manual one. And so I've always been a little weary of buying an electric yarn winder just because I already have one that works. So the fact that CAYDO reached out to me and asked if they could send me this electric yarn winder and I could test it out for you guys and let you know what I think about it got me so excited because it was just like the best of both worlds. I got to try out this product and they sent it to me. That was so nice. Thank you, CAYDO. This video is not sponsored, but like I said, they did send me this product. So we're gonna see what I think about it. You do have to do a little bit of some assembly, so let me put it together and I will meet you back after that. Okay, I got it all put together. I gotta say, it was super easy to put together. It came with great instruction pamphlet that was not difficult at all. Came with all the tools it needs, even like a little screwdriver. And one thing I'm liking about it is the fact that it is electric, meaning it has a plug, like a charging or a cable connected to it, versus batteries, because I don't know about you, but I cannot keep track of batteries, and it's USB-C. So even if you lost this specific cord, which is a 6-foot cord, most of us have a USB-C cord lying around. So I feel like that is super accessible. The first yarn that we are going to try to wind is from a store called Miss Babs. This is 100% superwash merino wool. So pretty. And the reason why I wanted to start with this one is because this is just like a normal, like DK size 4 kind of yarn. Now, my goal with this is to be able to do sock yarn with it because that's what I have the majority of. But I understand that not everyone knits socks or deals with fingering weight yarn. So this is one that I knew was popular. All right, while I'm getting this set up, I'm gonna go ahead and answer my first question. And the first question is, do you knit or crochet or both? And I do both. So I first learned how to crochet when I was in middle school. My friend taught me. And then I really got into knitting like a year ago, I'd say. I already talked a lot about my journey from crocheting to knitting in this video, so if you're interested in hearing more how I started out, I would highly recommend that you watch this one. Okay, so let me look to see how I thread it. I think it's pretty easy. All right, let's give this a go. I'm gonna start really slow. After some troubleshooting, I figured pretty much how this works. So I moved my Swift back some because I felt like it was better to have some distance between the two, and that makes a big difference. One thing that's really cool about this product is if it gets stuck, like if the yarn gets snagged on something, instead of the motor keep on going and potentially making it worse, it just stops. The motor stops. So to be able to restart it, you just have to turn it off and then turn it back on again. And I like this because it kind of prevents the yarn from maybe getting to a big tangle or from the machine from hurting itself. At least with this yarn and the amount of yarn that I have on the Swift, the winder doesn't have enough power to keep the Swift going on its own. So it is still something that you need to kind of sit here and supervise. And so I just am slightly moving it, but it's a lot less tiring to slightly move a Swift than it is to completely crank. So let me show you how it's looking. So all I have to do is just kind of keep the Swift going, and it is working so well. So let me show you what happens when I stop keeping the Swift going. It just isn't as fluid. It still is moving it. Let me see if I move the speed up a little bit. Okay, this seems to actually be going. I'm not touching it. This is amazing. Oh my gosh. This is magic. What the heck? Let's go a little faster. That's incredible. Okay, let's answer another question. Okay, what is my favorite fiber? So what kind of yarn fiber do I like working with the most? Right now, I feel like it's definitely going to be wool with a blend of nylon, because that is usually what sock yarn is. And I've been knitting a lot of socks recently, so I love that. I will say I love how alpaca yarn feels. I think it is so soft. When it comes to crocheting, I love crocheting with cotton, and I just think it is absolutely so versatile. All right, what is my favorite project? Hopefully this isn't too loud and that you can still hear me. But some of my favorite projects that I have done, first of all, is the first sweater that I've knitted. I did a whole video about it here. That was such a special project for me because it was my first successful knitting project. Some other projects that have been really special to me have been these socks that I knitted for my sister Stephanie. I also made a video about it. And then another project that, I have so many, but a favorite project of mine that was really special is this shawl that I knit for my mom as a Christmas present. Okay, I have put this to the test. So I just wound up 225 grams of this yarn, which is 560 yards. And I gotta say, she held up beautifully. First of all, look at like the almost honeycomb pattern. Obsessed with that. Let's take it off and see how it looks. It didn't collapse in on itself. It still has the hole. What? That is so cool. This is amazing. Okay, let's try it with a fingering weight yarn and see how it does. Before I do that, let's get on another question. Favorite place to shop for yarn? Okay, I don't live in an area that has a ton of local yarn shops. I think there's one that I haven't been to that's near me, and then there's one like 40 minutes away that I also haven't been to. Now, I need to check those out. But I do have a secondhand craft store and I love finding yarn there. But really a lot of times where I get my cool yarn is when I travel. Whenever I go to a new city, or even a city that I've been to before, I try to find a local yarn shop and buy yarn from them to support them. Another place that I've gotten very successful with buying yarn is through Etsy. I would just definitely look at the reviews and the ratings that seller has. I've bought some through Amazon, but that's just more like when I'm needing something really specific that I might not be able to find at a local place. But I really do try to support local or small businesses when it comes to buying yarn. I definitely have a stash, and I think that helps me. So when I am going through periods of life when I maybe don't have access to a local place, I can just use what I already have. But yeah, why did I just throw that? This next yarn that I'm gonna wind, I actually got from Joann's. Joann's has hand-dyed fingering weight yarn. What? I haven't knit with it yet because I bought it and it comes in this, and I didn't have a Swift, and I didn't want to go through the difficulty of unwinding stuff without a Swift. So what's going on here? There we go. Let's try this baby out. Ooh, this is so pretty. It's like hot pink and cream. Now, the next question is, do you like to knit and crochet in public? I guess it's less so do I like it or more do I do it? And the answer is yes. I knit in public all the time. I try to bring a sock with me wherever I go, and I have no shame. I love knitting in parks. I love knitting in waiting rooms. I love knitting in the car. Sometimes I get car sick in the car. All right, my next question is, do you like to watch TV while you craft? And if so, what are you watching? I love to watch shows when I knit or crochet. Currently, I just started My Lady Jane. It's on Amazon Prime. I love it. I love it because it's hilarious. It's kind of like got Pride and Prejudice, Bridgerton mixed with medieval-esque romance in it. I love it because it's not too gory. I hate overly gory things. So that makes me really happy that I feel like I can watch it without getting really uncomfortable and grossed out. So yeah, been watching that, absolutely love it. If I just need something to watch that I've seen before and I don't really need to focus on it, my go-tos are always New Girl, How I Met Your Mother, Gilmore Girls, sometimes Bridgerton. Yeah, I love all of those shows. So yeah, but definitely check out My Lady Jane. I'm like halfway through the first season and I'm absolutely obsessed. Okay, got this all threaded up. Let's give her a go. Okay, I got this one going, and so far it's been going for a while without me touching it, so that is amazing. Okay, next question is, what kind of music do I listen to while crafting? I mostly watch TV shows when I'm crafting, but sometimes I'll listen to music, or sometimes I'll listen to like a podcast or an audiobook. Right now I'm listening to Pride and Prejudice audiobook for the second time. I absolutely love it. I recently watched the miniseries of Pride and Prejudice, and it is so much like the book. I just had to listen to the book again. Music that I have been listening to, I'm obsessed, absolutely obsessed with Chappell Roan. I mean, she's amazing. Listening to, obviously, Sabrina Carpenter. Some non-popular ones I listen to, one of my favorite bands is Lake Street Dive. Love them, love the dip. Recently getting into Lawrence. Yeah. I mostly watch TV shows. All right, the next question is, do I do any other crafts? And if you have watched my YouTube videos before, you know that definitely yes. So right now my main craft is probably knitting. That's what I do the most. But I also love sewing. I love crocheting. I've done some embroidery before. I have a Cricut. I haven't done a ton with my Cricut. I need to do more with it. I also like to watercolor. Pretty much I will give anything a try, and I'm usually decent at it, just because of my experience with other crafts, but I would say knitting and sewing are kind of at the top as of right now. All right, what is on my knit and crochet wish list? Well, for the longest time, a Swift was actually on my wish list, and I recently got that. Michael's was having them, it was like on sale, and normally they're like 50 bucks. I got it for like 25 bucks, so totally worth it. I don't know how long that sale's going on, but it seemed like their normal price was only like 32 or something. So if you're looking for a Swift, check out Michael's. I've definitely been curious about an electric yarn winder, so I'm very happy that I have one now. But some other things that I really have been wanting to, also, I'm so sorry if like the noise of this is distracting, but you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. The other thing I'm really wanting is some of the Stone Knit Colorworks sock books. She's got one coming out in November, and she had one that she released, I think like a couple years ago. Either one, I really want one of those. I want to have more access to more of her patterns without having to pay an individual price for each pattern. And I'm also on the hunt for some wooden DPNs for socks, but I would love to find them secondhand and not have to buy them new, but we might just end up buying them new. We will see. Okay. My normal manual winder has never been able to handle sock yarn well. It's just kind of will collapse in on itself. But so far, this looks stunning. Let me show you up close. Like what? Okay, let's take this off and see how it holds a shape, because that was always the problem. It would not hold its shape well. What? What the heck? How is it not collapsing in on itself? Okay, now if I squeeze it, it does collapse a little bit, but like, this is incredible. I am gonna be honest with you guys. I was really skeptical of this, and I actually didn't think it was going to work, and I was so worried because, you know, they sent me this product for me to try, and I was like, what if I don't like it? But I actually really like it. Like, I'm going to be using this instead of my manual one, because even if it's not necessarily faster than manual, the product that comes out from it is 10 times better than what comes off of my manual one. And the fact that I can kind of zone out and scroll on my phone while this is going, and I don't have to worry about it like tangling up like I do with the manual one, amazing. Okay, the last test I have for it is I'm gonna see how it does with one of these mini sock skeins, because so far, on this, I've been putting a substantial amount of yarn. So I want to see if the shape still turns out well when there's not a lot of yarn. I feel like this might be the thing that breaks it, but to be honest, with mini skeins, I normally just like winding them into a ball instead of a cake. So even if it doesn't work out, I still love the product. Okay, here's my mini skein all wound up. It looks really good on the tube. Let's see how it holds up once I take it off. Okay. There's the inside of it. Something did come a little loose. I'm just gonna kind of tuck that in. I'm gonna squeeze it a little. I mean, I feel like that's workable. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. Look at my little yarn snowman. Guys, this has been so much fun. I am really happy with how these have turned out. I think these look so cool. Imagine a bunch of these sitting on a shelf. Like that pattern is so pleasing to look at. So satisfying. Also, I love my Swift. This is a game changer right here, because before this I used my knees or a chair, and it was quite the workout. Not only did CAYDO send me this amazing product, but they also gave me a discount code for you guys. So I will put the link below in the description box, and if you use the code NATBO, you can get 30% off of your purchase, which is amazing. When you buy the yarn winder, that turns out to be around like almost $25 off. What? That's incredible. Thank you so much, CAYDO, for doing that. This was so much fun. I really enjoyed working with this product and getting to chat with you guys a little bit, and obviously winding up some yarn that I've been needing to wind for a long time. Thank you guys so much for watching. Click on the links in my description and have a wonderful day. I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.